Hey, what's up YouTube? It's me, Andrew here. Today I'm doing my full review on the all-new ASUS Q551 15.6-inch touchscreen laptop. Alright, let's get started. First, let's go and break down the specs. This laptop features a 4th generation Intel Core i7-4510 clocked at 2 GHz, 8 GB of DDR3 RAM, a 15.6-inch LED high-definition touchscreen display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. For your graphic performance, you got the NVIDIA GT840M with 2 GB of video memory. This laptop runs Microsoft Windows 8.1 and the retail price is $999 US. However, with Best Buy's weekly promotions, sometimes this laptop can be found for $899 US. The design and build quality of the all-new ASUS Q551LN looks stunning. On the exterior, you got that beautiful aluminum black finish that looks beautiful. Take a look at this. On the sides, you got them chamfered edges that look very similar to like an iPhone 5S or the all-new Galaxy Note 4. On the bottom, you also get that same black aluminum finish, but the good news here, you can also remove the cover and upgrade your components. We'll get more to that later on in this video. Now for the weight of the laptop, comes in at 5.1 pounds and measures 0.9 inches thick. For your interior, you got a standard full-size keyboard, as well as a 10-key numeric keypad and a standard full-size trackpad. Overall, the design and build quality of this ASUS laptop is excellent. You get a good amount of ports with this notebook. Let me go and break them down for you. Here goes your AC charging port, subwoofer port, Gigabit Ethernet port, full-size HDMI port, 2 USB 3.0 ports, your home button for your 2-in-1 tablet mode, your volume down and up button, and then you got your power button. Moving along to the right side now, here goes your DVD drive, Kensington security slot, an additional USB 3.0 port, headset microphone jack combo, and an SD card reader. Next up, we're going to test out the viewing angles on this 15.6-inch IPS panel. Let me go and rotate to the left. So far, the viewing angles has been excellent on this panel. Take a look at that. Now we're going to test the other viewing angle where we're going to tilt the display all the way down. And that's at 100% right there. Again, excellent viewing angles for the all-new ASUS Q551LN. Since this is a 2-in-1 laptop, you'll have multiple modes to work with. The first mode we have here is our stand mode. This mode will be highly useful for those of you that want to watch a late night movie in bed. The next mode we have here is our tent mode. This mode will be highly useful for presentations and more. And last but not least is our tablet mode. Also keep in mind the keyboard and trackpad are disabled when using these multiple modes. The touchscreen panel on this laptop has been working very smooth and precise. Let me give you a demo of it in action. Take a look at this scrolling here. Very responsive. Let me go and launch a website and we'll test it from there. As you can see here, the scrolling and multi-touch gestures has been very smooth. Moving along to display quality and performance. This laptop features a 15-inch IPS display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. The colors and text on this panel have been great. Let me give you a demo of some of these shots here. As you can see here, the color reproduction on this panel has been pretty good. Now, is it high like a Dell XPS 13? No, but for under $1,000, this is a pretty good panel. Now let's take a look at our Spider 4 Pro colorimeter results. For the Adobe sRGB, I got a score of 86%. And for the Adobe RGB, I got a score of 66%. One of the major downsides to this panel was the automatic brightness setting. This feature was poorly implemented by ASUS. Too many times I would find my panel either too bright or too dim. To turn it off, simply go to your Charms menu, Settings, change PC settings, Power and Sleep, and then turn off your automatic brightness setting. The performance from the Intel Core i7-4510U has been great. This processor has a base clock speed of 2 GHz, but can turbo boost up to 3.1 GHz for one active core, or 2.8 GHz for 2 active cores. Whether you're a programmer or you're just using basic productivity apps, this dual-core i7 has been performing flawlessly. And to back that up, let's go and take a look at some of our benchmarks here, starting with the Geekbench 3 64-bit version. For the single-core score, I got 3077, and for the multi-core performance, I got a score of 5982. For Cinebench R15, I got a CPU score of 270 CB. Moving along to PC Mark 8 Creative Conventional, I got a score of 2244. Next up, we got PC Mark 8 Home Conventional. I got a score of 2,373. The GPU powering this laptop is the NVIDIA GT840M with 2 GB of DDR3 video memory. The 840M is a low-end graphics card from NVIDIA with only 64 bits of memory interface. Many of today's games will push the 840M to its limits very quickly. But the good news here is the 840M is about 30% faster than last year's 740M. With that being said, the 840M can handle many of today's games on low to medium settings. For 3D programs like AutoCAD, the 840M performed without any hiccups. To benchmark the 840M, we're going to use Cinebench R15, the OpenGL test. For that test, we got a score of 57.95 frames per second. Our next benchmark is the 3D Mark Advanced Edition. For the Firestrike, I got a score of 1,324. For Skydiver, I got a score of 5,052. For CloudGate, I got a score of 5,810, and for Ice Storm Extreme, I got a score of 39,538. Okay, enough of these benchmarks. Let's test the 840M live in action using Bioshock Infinite at 1920 by 1080p on medium settings. So right now we're averaging about 31 to 33 frames per second. So far the game is running pretty smooth without any hiccups. Get down. Oh, well, you want some of this too? Right, let me get over here. Oh, come on now. Who's calling me and interrupting my gameplay? The game is running pretty smooth for the most part on medium settings. However, certain frames will drop to around 26 to 28 frames per second. Once you go to your low settings, you can expect an average frame rate around 35 to 45 frames per second. Next up, we got our Trackpad Performance. This laptop features a trackpad designed and engineered by ASUS without any third-party support. Two-finger scrolling and multi-touch gestures on this trackpad has been very smooth and precise. The only time I noticed hiccups when I'll tap to click and it would not register. Maybe I had a bad trackpad or a driver issue. Hopefully ASUS can get these ironed out and make it a better experience. Typing on this laptop has been a pleasure. Overall, the tactile feedback and key travel has been great. If you do a lot of word processing, you'll definitely enjoy this keyboard on this laptop. The only downside I had was an absence of an LED number lock button. I would often find myself hitting the number keys without anything registering. Another minor con was the keyboard color tone. I wished ASUS used a two-color tone like the MacBook Pro instead of silver on silver. That would have made it easier to distinguish the keys. Now for those of you that like working on projects late at night, the good news here, we have a backlight keyboard. There are 3 multiple brightness level settings as demonstrated here. One of the biggest downsides to this laptop is that notoriously slow 1TB 5400 RPM hard drive. The only good thing here is that it is spacious, however it is very slow. But the good news here, it can be easily replaced with a 7200 RPM hard drive or for even better performance, an SSD drive. After a couple of benchmarking software, you're left with around 871 GB free out of that 1TB. Battery performance is good. On average, I'm able to get anywhere from 5.5 to 6.5 hours out of a full charge with screen brightness at around 70%. Next up, we're going to take a look at the internal components of the all-new ASUS Q551LN. The first thing we have here is our 4GB of PC3-12800 DDR3 RAM stick. ASUS decided to have 4GB of RAM soldered onto the main board and have 4GB on a DIMM stick. To upgrade your RAM, you have to swap out the 4GB for an 8GB DIMM stick, and plus the 4GB of onboard RAM will give you a total of 12GB. There goes your 1TB hard drive running at 5400 RPM. For the best performance, I would recommend upgrading to a solid state drive. Our next component is our Intel dual band wireless AC7260 with Bluetooth 4.0. This wireless card has been performing flawlessly without any hiccups. During my Battlefield 4 online matches, I didn't experience any problems. The fan noise is also pretty impressive. During normal usage, you can barely hear the fan running. However, once you fired up the game, you can hear the fan running slightly. What about temperature control? During my 45-minute Battlefield 4 online match, the maximum CPU temperature I got was around 79 degrees Celsius. Overall, excellent cooling performance. The speakers on this notebook were good. The 2 speakers are located on the bottom front panel. Lows and mids were great. However, for a stronger low-end kick, ASUS has also included a small woofer to enhance your listening experience. This is one of the best notebooks I have ever reviewed for under $1,000 US. You get a very good IPS panel, a solid dual-core i7 processor, and a fairly capable NVIDIA 840M GT graphics card. Alright, this completes my full review on the all-new ASUS Q551LN 15.6-inch touchscreen laptop. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to be notified of the latest videos just like this one. Alright, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.